In this video we're going to talk about the various types of decomposition reactions that can happen. Now remember, decomposition is when one thing that's all together breaks apart into several components. So the types of decompositions that are possible are metal carbonate, there's others, but the main ones you have to know. Metal carbonate, metal hydroxide, metal chlorates, and binary elements. So we'll go over what each type of those are, and this will let you predict what's going to happen when you have a decomposition reaction. You'll be able to predict the product. So metal carbonate, say calcium's your metal, carbonate's your anion. What's going to happen is when you heat it, you can break it apart into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So you're going to have the metal combining with oxygen, or what you're going to have left is the metal oxide and then carbon dioxide. The formula for this depends on the charges of the ions. So oxide is a -2 ion. Calcium's +2. So in this case, it works out that they're 1 to 1. But if you had a +3 ion, you'd have to account for that when establishing this formula. But again, metal carbonate produces carbon dioxide and then that metal oxide. Metal hydroxides, they're going to break apart and give you water. So if calcium hydroxide, for example, breaks up, it's going to produce calcium oxide, again, metal oxide, and water. So carbonates produce carbon dioxide, hydroxides produce water. Chlorates are going to produce oxygen when they're heated. So calcium chlorate is going to produce calcium chloride, and essentially the oxygen gets released. So chlorates basically get rid of the oxygens, and you're left with chlorides of the metal. And then if you have two elements that are together, they can then be broken apart into their component elements. This would be like electrolysis can do this to water. You can take H2O, water, and break it apart into its component elements. So these are the four main types of decomposition reactions you have to know. So depending on what you're given, you should be able to predict the products that will be produced. And again, they are: carbonates produce carbon dioxide, hydroxides produce water, chlorates produce oxygen, and then if you have just two elements together breaking apart, you're going to end up with those two elements separate.